Right, the big news is right there. Chrono Odyssey has now got pretty much a massive delay, to the surprise of pretty much absolutely nobody. And for the first time, I think, in forever, Archeagre Chronicles is now scheduled to actually release before it, which is pretty huge in itself. Now let me explain what this is. This is basically the second quarter of 2025 earnings report by Kakao Games, which is the thing that is cut off at the top. And in it, they go through a variety of different things. They go through how much money they're making. They go through what's coming from mobile, what's PC, all this kind of jazz. From my quick TLDRs, I think they're making a little bit of a loss, but that's not really a big surprise. The main thing that you care about is this right here. Well, you probably care about it if you're watching this channel. And they go through their order of their games and say when they're going to launch. A lot of these mobile, PC, Korean only games we can probably ignore. Some of these other games like Goddess Order is apparently going to global. Literally no idea what it is. But our two main games that I think we want to focus on here is Chrono Odyssey and Archeagre Chronicles. And as you can see, it is now currently slated for fourth quarter 2026. Keep in mind that it was previously on here as being the fourth quarter 2025. That's basically a straight up 1 year delay. Now, anybody who played the closed beta, anybody who's seen all the list of changes that they were going through, this doesn't surprise anybody. I think this is what we all sort of expected. Some people thought, I guess myself included, they might try and sneak it out in maybe like the second quarter, maybe like March, maybe even that early. But the reality is, I think they now have too much work to do to get it out in that time frame, so they're not going to do that anymore. They're not even going to try, I think. Well, I mean, they're trying because they're going as fast as they can, but that's not the plan. And we have the first time that Archeagre Chronicles is actually above it in the scheduling. Normally it's Chrono Odyssey and then Archeagre Chronicles. Now, that's big in a couple of ways because one, we've not really seen anything about Archeagre Chronicles, although I think we can probably expect some kind of like closed beta test for that. Maybe at the end of this year, but there is talk about doing a closed beta test for Archeagre Chronicles. They said they're going to open up testing, so we'll see that at some point as well. But I do think there's an internal struggle there. They're probably now not sure which game is actually going to be ready first. The reality is, Archeagre Chronicles, once that sees public testing, there'll be a lot of things to change there because there'll be a lot of feedback, and that might end up getting pushed back. I personally still think Chrono Odyssey might release before Archeagre Chronicles, but that's not what that says. They did talk about a couple of other things in this call. So it's a financial call that they do, and they also present this document. In it, they said that basically competition was high. They did say that Chrono Odyssey might get its timeline altered depending on what happens. I think if they do another round of closed beta testing and there's then subsequent changes that they need to make, it could possibly even get delayed a little bit further, but I wouldn't expect it to go beyond maybe like Q1, Q2 2027. Let's be honest though, I think if it gets to the end of 2027, things might become a little bit more dubious at best, shall we say. They said that they had 2 million people sign up to Steam for the closed beta test, and about 1 million people have it on the wish list, which I think is around about the 20th in total on Steam. They think that all of these signs are good and positive. Obviously, they did get some feedback from the closed beta test, but it's not like it was very, very negative or anything like that. They're just saying, we're trying to fix this, we're trying to amend it. We think the potential of the game in the West is very strong. They've learned the lessons on how to talk to the global audience, what they're expecting, and overall they think Chrono Odyssey still has some great potential. Obviously, we've seen that dev diary thing, and there's an absolute shed ton of things that they're working on, but yeah, I still think the game has potential. It's just potential that's going to take a little bit longer to realize than I think some of us anticipated. They might not hit that potential, right? You might think it's a deeply flawed game and they can't possibly fix it. I would say pretty much a year and a half. Yeah, they can surely fix it in that time, right? They're going to continue to pump resources into this game. I think it's definitely a game that's getting probably well funded now by Kakao. They seem pretty much optimistic about it. They'll see it as one of the first forays into this global MMO market, even though the competition is strong. They're confident that they can have some kind of impact. And I agree, right? There's a big potential there for Chrono Odyssey. But this delay obviously is pretty huge. If you were looking forward to it, yikes, you're going to be waiting for a long time now. Archeagre Chronicles, kind of the same story, except we've not played it, right? They're still working on this Q3. I just really can't see this. I suspect the same kind of thing is going to happen when we all see the closed beta test. There'll be some kind of feedback and they'll change it and it'll get delayed a little bit. That just happens constantly. They might surprise us, but I really doubt they'll be that close together on the list when they actually release. Also, don't worry about it saying online action RPG. Chrono Odyssey is as MMO as I've seen in any other game. No reason to assume that anything has changed. Just when they do these financials, they always list it as that. And I think they separate from MMORPG. And it's going to sound a bit weird, but I think it's because the other games are basically tab target and probably a lot more pay to win. Hey, that's just speculation on my part. Now, unfortunately, there's not much else coming to the West anytime soon. All the Korean games now appear to be launching probably late next year. The Western games are completely missing in action. Nobody knows when the next one will come. Will it be Guild Wars 3? Will it be Riot? Will it be Classic Plus? Will it be Lord of the Rings? Pretty much, or it could be the Warhammer game. Pretty much nobody knows when that's coming or if they will come. But the Korean MMOs, we've got a couple that are coming. Some of them probably more pay to win than others. But one that is we're going to see more information about right now, well, when that timer actually expires, is going to be Ion 2. Now, it's worth noting that Ion 2 is currently scheduled to release in Korea in November, but will actually probably release, let's say, halfway through next year or at the end of next year. Now, this information, we're going to actually see gameplay. We're going to see a little bit more snippets about the character creator and stuff like that. I'll be back when we have information on that. If the game's good, I could actually see myself covering the Korean game in preparation for the Western launch. But I really do think that the end of next year is where we're going to be getting our hands on something new. And yes, it will be Korean, and yes, some of them will probably be pay to win. I think Ion 2 is perhaps going to be the game that will be the most pay to win out of all the others. But you know, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. And I'll see you then. Have a most beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.